Hello boys and girls, welcome to the Math Club. In this video, we're going to talk about turning units from a unit to another. We're going to talk about metric units because they are very important in scales and ratios, and we use them all the time. So we have to know how to turn these units into each other. Now, as you can see here, we have kilometers here, which is the biggest unit that we're going to use. And we have millimeters. We don't use a lot, but we mostly use centimeters for the ratios. But you have to understand how to turn them from one to another. Now, kilometers here is the biggest one. And let's say millimeter here is the smallest one. And we are working until here, until we reach the centimeters, but it's okay if you understand the millimeters too. Now, each kilometer or 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meters. 1,000 meters. And each meters or 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. And each centimeter equals 10 millimeters. So if you want to turn from the biggest one to the smaller one, for example, turning kilometers into meters, you're going to multiply. You're going to go like this, multiply. And if you're turning from meters to centimeter, you're going to multiply. Same idea. But you multiply by the number that you go next to. For example, if you turn from kilometer to meter, you multiply by 1,000. Because you're turning from a big unit into a smaller one. And if you want to turn back from meters to kilometer, you divide by 1,000. So you have to understand this idea. So because we're turning from kilometers to centimeters most of the time, we have to go through the rule. We multiply by 1,000 and then we multiply by 100. So basically we multiply by 100,000. This is very important. And if you do the opposite going from centimeters back, you divide by 100 here and then divide by 1,000. So you divide by 100,000. This is very important. Now I'm going to show you a question that we are going to use these units transfer methods. Question 1. Copy and complete. Now in this question, we have 2 meters equal how many centimeters? Now, meters are bigger than centimeters. And because they are bigger, we're going to, very good, we're going to multiply. Multiply by how much? Very good, multiply by 100. Because 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. Good. So we multiply by 100. So the answer will be 2 multiplied by 100 equals 200. Good. 200 centimeters. Second one, turning centimeters into meters. This is the opposite. We are turning from a smaller unit into a bigger one. So we divide. Very good. Because 1 meter equals 100 centimeters, we're going to divide by 100. So 620 divided by 100 equals, very good, 6.2. Very good. Or 6.20. But basically the 0 here doesn't count. So we write 6.2. Very good, 6.2 meters. Same idea here. Turning meters into kilometers. We are turning from the smaller one to the bigger one. So we are going to divide. So as the rule says, if you turn from a big one to a small one, you multiply. But if you're turning from a smaller one to a bigger one, you divide. Very good. Now, 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meter. So turning back means you're going to, very good, divide. So we're going to divide this on what? On 1,000. And the answer will be 1.35. And the 0, you don't have to write it. Very good. Let me move this, make it smaller. Yes. And this is how you answer a question like this. You have to focus on turning units into each other because we use it a lot in ratios and scales. It's very important to understand when you turn from a bigger unit to a smaller one, you multiply, but when you turn from a smaller one to a bigger one, you divide. It's very important to understand that. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.